And thanks for having me, Vikki. I appreciate you asking me to do this.
So I have two-part questions. You are dedicated and loyal to HBCUs, obviously, the game of football, the sports, but specifically HBCU student athletes. Where does the passion come from?
I'm a Howard University graduate. I'm a graduate from an HBCU. My parents both graduated from Hampton Institute, hence Howard is the only HU. Don't ever get it twisted. Okay, but I mean, it's just something that has been, through my upbringing. And look, when I initially went to college, I went to University of Missouri to play football. When I decided to transfer, wanted to have the HBCU experience, so went to Howard. Um, and ever since, if you go to historically black college, it never leaves you. And so now, it's been important to me to uphold the athletics of HBCUs as much as the academics. But back, around 2019, 2020, in that area, when only one player from an HBCU got drafted into the NFL, I found that completely absurd, seeing the history that more than 30 players from HBCUs are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You have great coaches like Eddie Robinson and Jake Gaither and Big Cat John Merritt who don't get the mention, who laid the foundation. And for only one player to get drafted, so that's when Doug and Shaq and some other folks and I had discussions about what can we do to change that process. And so when Doug and Shaq came up with the Legacy Bowl, great idea. What can we do to come up with a broadcast partner? Let me talk to the folks at the NFL Network. NFL was totally on board with doing this, with showcasing these athletes. Then came the HBCU Combine to make sure that these teams and scouts didn't have any excuses to know or not know who these players from HBCUs were. So now, in the second year of the HBCU Legacy Bowl, the HBCU Combine, we're starting to see more NFL teams show up. The television coverage has been enhanced. So this is what we can ask for to make sure that these young men, the coaches, and the staffs from these programs get the proper shine that they deserve.
Indeed. Thank you so much for that. Because what the next question was going to be answered for us from that one player that was drafted to now, you can see the progress. So, in terms of Doug Williams and Shaq Harris, what do you say about and the conversation that we all have had, and this has happened, it's materialized. The vision is real. It's happening, and these student athletes are getting the opportunity. What do you say for those or to those that have a vision and moving forward with it? What could be a life lesson, especially seeing the success of others?
It's easy to say pursue your vision, but you can't really get to that end goal unless you have a strategy and a plan. A lot of people, I want to do this, I want to do that. How? How are you going to get there? So when we were presenting this to the NFL, to the NFL Network, to other sponsors, to broadcast partners, here's our plan. And it started with the goal. The goal is to get deserving young men opportunities to make it to the NFL because those opportunities have dwindled. And we had empirical data, Shaq Harris and Doug Williams being two of them, to show that players from black colleges could succeed in the NFL. And we continued to develop a strategy. So when we presented it, ironclad, would have been very difficult for anybody to say no. And the fact that we all have HBCU backgrounds, so we're speaking from the soul, right? We're not speaking from just paperwork. We're not speaking from computer research. We're speaking for something that means a lot to us. It helped seal the deal right away. We didn't get any, we'll get back to you, we'll work on, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And that enthusiasm now is translated, again, to the success that we had in last year's broadcast and how many people want to get on board now. Having 4 players from HBCUs get drafted last year and all make impacts. Another player who played in the Legacy Bowl, Deshaun Dixon from Norfolk State, undrafted, makes the roster and contributes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. More than 30 players from this game getting rookie camp tryouts. Guys playing in the XFL and the USFL. This is what it's all about. It's not about anything more than creating opportunities.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for speaking with me here in Vikki Johnson PMH Magazine because you are the expert. We listen to you. For those that want to go into journalism, communications, no matter which school they go to, but specifically HBCUs, what could you say
First off, HBCUs produce. Okay, we produce talent. In my group at Howard University, we had myself, Stan Verrett, the anchor on SportsCenter, Gus Johnson, one of the leading play-by-play callers in college sports, pro sports, Frederica Whitfield, the weekend anchor on CNN, and Michelle Miller, who hosts CBS News this morning. We're all together, right? So we produce. But people who want to go through, understand there are no shortcuts. You have to do the work. That's not about having a banging TikTok. That's not about having 1 million followers on YouTube. That helps, right? But you've got to have perseverance. You've got to have doors slammed in your face. And instead of saying, well, great, I'm going to leave. I'm going to hit the occupational transfer portal. Stick with it, because we do have to work harder. There are people who are going to look at us and judge us a certain way. Don't give them any reasons to misjudge you. That is the main thing, because you do the work and you do it right and don't take shortcuts, you can get there. A lot of people, why are these people slamming doors, this and that? Why are they slamming doors? How are you approaching them? You know, make sure you have to play the game a little bit. Just be buttoned up as much as possible, and opportunities will present themselves.
Any projections for the third HBCU Legacy Bowl in terms of turnout, ticket sales, sponsors?
Well, I mean, look, it's going to continue to grow, more so with the terms of talent that we're getting in terms of the players at HBCUs. More high-caliber players are attending HBCUs. The coaching is fantastic at these HBCUs. So that product itself will be better. Hopefully people will come see the game here at Yeoman Stadium at Tulane. And, you know, no reason not to come to New Orleans, right? And, you know, hopefully people will tune in to watch for those who can't make it, because, again, more of the recognition for these young men, it'll turn out to help your fantasy teams. It'll turn out to help your own teams and things like that. So, again, see someone like James Houston from Jackson State last year go do his thing in Detroit. You know, or Joshua Williams, go ahead and play the way he did for the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's the type of thing that should let people know that HBCUs are on par with every type of U there is.